Good morning, guys. This is Jonathan with One Big Impact. It is coming into week 3 of the One Big Impact 30-day challenge, the weight loss challenge, which is really cool because, we got 2 weeks left. And what is really cool about that is we have 2 weeks to maximize our results. I want to make a video. If you're new here, by the way, please check us out on Facebook. Our group is called Healthy Living for a Healthy Life. I will also put a link in the description below for my GoFundMe because I am trying to open a gym to not only train individuals with the same issues like myself, but also to work with children. Not children, I should say, teens and above, up to 21 years of age, free of charge, to try to give back to the community, to also try to help out kids like myself and like my sons that have had issues with mental health or obesity or things like that. All kinds of things. I miss my son a lot. And I'm sorry for trying to, I don't know, it's been kind of hard lately. If you've lost anybody, I'm sorry for your loss. I didn't really understand what that meant before. Today's video is going to be, let's change the energy, Jonathan. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. A lot of times when people are going into Atkins, they don't understand that they don't always have to go into induction phase. Okay? So you can take a different type of approach when you are going to Atkins. You can start out a lot higher. So just to give you an idea of what I've been doing on my food lately, I've been following something called the vertical diet. I've been at about 221 carbs a day, about 2 pounds of meat a day, 2 pounds of bison a day, carrots, potatoes, rice, all kinds of stuff. And I'll be honest, I'm at like 250-ish. And I feel really bloated every day. Not bloated, I guess, yeah, bloated. Too full. I definitely put on muscle mass and stuff, and my strength has gone up. But it's a slippery slope with carbohydrates because you'll start to use that as an excuse to just eat anything. And I'll be completely honest, I've been struggling lately with my food. I'm eating about 4,000 calories a day and then fitting in other things, and it's just nonsense and it's just a damn excuse. So I am in a solid effort to make my food a little bit more not necessarily healthier, because I'm eating healthy-ish, but to make it more tasty. I don't know. I'm a little bit burnt out on what I'm doing, and that will happen. So I'm sorry. I'm trying to gain my train of thought here, not lose it. Because I'm strength training, I'm going to keep my calories up pretty high. I'm going to drop my carbohydrates down quite a bit. But I'm going to do it as slowly as I possibly can. So I'm going to build myself a meal plan. But I wanted to share with you guys an 80 gram of carbohydrate per day meal plan. And why that I feel that that's necessary is because a lot of us, the general American diet is like, they say like 300 to 400 grams of carbs per day. And if you like sugar and stuff like that, you're probably way over that. You know, some of the like a Ben and Jerry's. Yes, I'm an ice cream fanatic. That's my jam. If I screw up, I admit it. I'm a sweet tooth person. If you eat a Ben and Jerry's, I think it's like 100 and something grams of carbs for the whole, just one little pint. And then imagine what you would consume throughout the rest of the day. So, if you are a person that has come from a crappy diet, you may try the reverse way instead of so instead of going into induction and just falling out your carbs completely, you can also try to dwindle them away a little bit at a time. So that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm about 250 carbs. I'll probably set it at like 150, and then see how I feel from there. I may leave it there for a while because after this strength training, I'm going to do some bodybuilding. So I'm going to need a good amount of caloric surplus, but I don't want so much to where I'm just spilling over, and that's how I feel I'm doing right now. I'm putting on muscle, but I'm definitely putting on body fat, and I'm not comfortable. My clothes are not where I want them to be and stuff. Everything's fitting really tight, and it's like, gotta put the brakes on. So I'm going to drop myself down to about 150, maybe 125, maybe even less. But the 80 gram a day meal plan, and you can even go to 100 gram a meal plan, and you can look around, and you can do Atkins 100, Atkins 40, Atkins 80. There's a lot of different options. A lot of people think it's just about induction. So I'll be dropping down, but I just wanted to share with you because I calculated this is, by the way, not my meal plan, and I don't ever try to take anybody's stuff. This is the Atkins All New Advantage. I don't think it's actually by the Atkins company, though, now that I've read about it, which is kind of cool because you get like an unbiased view of everything, which I think is great. The book's great. I will link it in the description below. I think it's like 10 or $15 or something like that. I've had it probably for years, and I still have not read it all the way through. And I still love going through it and finding all kinds of great information. But in the back, there's some meal plans, which are really, really helpful. And the only thing is, they don't give you a breakdown on protein, calories, and stuff like that. Generally speaking, when you're following any Atkins or like whole food meal plan and stuff like that, you tend to naturally go into a pretty significant caloric deficit, whether you know that or not. If you keep your fats in check and your carbohydrates in check and stuff like that, it tends to fall pretty naturally inside a positive realm. For me, the reason I did this is because if I went from where I'm at, 4,000 calories, down to this number, the number I'm going to tell you of calories that this meal plan, 80 grams of carbohydrates per day meal plan would put me at, I would lose a significant amount of weight really fast. Problem being, first of all, I don't necessarily want to lose a bunch of weight because if you know about bodybuilding and stuff like that, you're going to need to be in a caloric surplus in order to put on size because you can't build from nothing. You know, it's like it's like trying to build a sandcastle with no sand. Like, how do you do that? Or a little pile of sand. You need a lot of it to build a lot of muscle. So I am definitely too far into a caloric surplus, and I found that I'm unhappy with it, and that's why I'm kind of reining it back and seeing what I can do to manipulate that. And this will be a constant. I know I'm blabbing, but this will be a constant thing that you should be doing. Like, this is something that you should get very familiar with, understanding how to manipulate your carbohydrates, your food, and everything like that. So basically, this meal plan, I'm not going to give you the counts for vegetables, just the high carbohydrate ones or whatever. But if it's like lettuce, peppers, anything like that, cabbage, I'm not adding those calories, and proteins and stuff like that. Because reason being is because it's a fibrous vegetable, and because of net carbs, you may want to do so. But with what I'm doing, those really aren't going to be my focus. The two most important things for me are the three most important things is knowing my protein, my calories, and my carbohydrates. And I definitely have the fats in check and everything like that. So I'm trying this, I'm going to be doing this approach, but I'm going to tell you some stuff, and it's kind of an interesting variation of some foods, and I'm excited. I will say all of the calories won't be in there. There's I think there's one cereal. Yes, I said cereal. And there's a cereal that I have not picked out yet, so I tend not to try to Google like a certain cereal or a certain food or something like that, because if I've never tried it, I don't know if the local store that I'm going to go to has it. And if I write down macros for that and then I can't find that, then I have to change it, and it's just a waste of freaking time. Just like I said, just saying that was a waste of time. Okay, so the total calories minus the veggies, the low carbohydrate veggies, because usually like 2 cups of lettuce is only like 15, 20, 30 calories or something like that. Green peppers are really low and stuff like that. They do have carbohydrate contents. And remember, this is a total of like 80 grams of carbs. Okay. So first of all, the carbohydrates minus the cereal, or calories minus the cereal, comes to like 1424. I would imagine it's going to put me up around 1600 if I were to add everything in. And remember, be careful. A lot of the times it's best to go to the store, pick out your foods, come home, then redo all of this. Because just because you Google on myfooddiary.com, which is the website I use to do my calories, carbohydrates, and check all my nutrition facts and stuff like that, does not mean that's going to be the item that you bring home. A carrot is not a carrot. I don't care what you say. And a bag of lettuce is not a bag of lettuce. There's going to be differences between manufacturers and stuff like that. Same with mayonnaise or vinaigrette or whatever. Okay. So the first thing for breakfast is, I know I'm babbling, I apologize, but I'm trying to cover everything because I feel like it's very important that people understand that you don't necessarily have to always go to induction. You don't always have to go to, now if you're in induction right now and you flip up to an 80-gram meal plan day, you're going to gain weight. So let's not misunderstand what I'm saying. But understanding that you can slowly work up to something like this gives you hope, and also knowing that if you were eating poorly, you can definitely start with something like this and gradually go down, as I probably will in the future. So breakfast is 1 cup of V8 juice, or I'm sorry, half a cup of V8 juice. By the way, I love V8 juice. I tend to burn out quickly on it though. 1 cup of high protein flake cereal with 1 cup of reduced milk beverage. Basically, I'm just going to use almond milk, which puts me a little bit lower in carbohydrates. So I'll probably be around 73, 76. Half a small papaya, chopped. 1 ounce of almonds sliced. There is a difference between almonds in a bag and almonds sliced. They will be lower in carbohydrates, so remember that, please. Buy a small bag too. I don't know what it is about almonds, but they are extremely high in calories. You might need the whole damn bag. For lunch, 4 ounces of grilled beef strips, 1 tablespoon of teriyaki sauce, 3 cups of mixed greens, like lettuce, half a cup of black soybeans. I have no clue what the hell those are, so I'm going to figure it out. Half a small tomato, but I'm going to eat it. Gag, I don't like them. Half a cup of chopped green peppers, and I'm going to do 2 tablespoons of vinaigrette. It's not extremely clear on in the book of exactly what you're supposed to be doing with your foods, but my general rule of thumb is if it doesn't give you an amount, like a single tablespoon or 5 tablespoons, it would be a serving, which whatever would be on the thing. So with dressing, it's usually like 2 tablespoons. So that's what I would use as a general rule of thumb. And then, of course, adding your calories and stuff like that, making sure they fit within a good range for you. And then half a cup of blackberries, which are really good. Snack, 1 red delicious apple with an ounce of cheddar cheese. I know this is going to be sidetracked. I'm so sorry for not going straight through this, but make sure you're writing it down. Rewind if you have to. I will say when I'm eating Atkins, I don't feel gross, if that makes sense. Like, I don't feel bloated. I don't feel I just feel fresh. Is that weird? Like, it's like my body took a shower. My insides took a shower, if that makes sense. It just feels better. And a side note, if you're not exercising your face off, and remember, exercising doesn't necessarily mean if you're doing a bunch of cardio, you don't eat a bunch of high sugar fruits and stuff like that. You can function just perfectly fine off of fats. So if you're not doing tons of like strength training and stuff like that where you need that immediate boost of carbohydrates, make sure you keep an eye on reining in those sugars and stuff like that, because it's just going to get stored as fat or hinder your progress. So keep that in mind. Dinner, I'm actually surprised at this. I've never successfully cooked it, so this should be interesting. 1 pound of steamed lobster with drawn butter. No clue what that means, but I'm going to have to figure it out. Coleslaw, made with 1 medium carrot shredded, 1 cup of green cabbage shredded, and mayonnaise. And I would again assume it's 2 tablespoons. Coleslaw is one of my favorite things on the planet, by the way, so I'm excited for that. 1 ear of steamed corn with butter. I'm also very excited about that. And the last thing is 1 slice of sugar-free cheesecake. I looked it up because I don't know what sugar-free cheesecake is. I never really seen it. I know there's lots of like keto recipes and stuff on the internet that I've seen. But I looked it up and it says there's one that Jell-O makes, and you just make it like a regular like a pudding or whatever. So I'm interested in trying that. So I would assume hopefully I can find that. And then it says a little notation. I don't really know what this means, honestly. This is new to me. This is a new approach. I'm just getting kind of burnt out on the foods that I was doing and stuff. More so that I'm eating the same thing. Like, I don't mind eating the same meal plan for an extended period of time, but it's been a little bit burnt out because I'm eating the same exact meals like 8 times a day. So it's a little bit interestingly difficult. Instead of plain butter, work chopped parsley into softened butter and add a little garlic and lemon juice. Roll extra into a log with waxed paper, slice into discs, and freeze. I guess that was not that hard to understand. I thought that was going to be difficult to understand. So that's kind of cool. And it's 80 grams. Your breakfast comes out to 21 grams of carbs. Lunch is 20. And then second snack with dinner is 29. The protein total is 149.6, give or take a couple because of the vegetables that I left out. The only things I left out was the really low carbohydrate vegetables, like the mixed greens and the tomato and like the chopped green pepper. I did everything else. So, and like the coleslaw, cabbage, and actually it was just the cabbage I left out. So I did anything that was significant. So 150 grams of protein. If you're trying to build muscle, This could actually be a really good meal plan for a female that is trying to put on some muscle. If she's like 140, 150 pounds or something like that, even all the way up to like maybe 180 to 100, you could get yourself into a slight caloric surplus. So I hope that helps. I'm going to be adding some carbohydrates to this. I'm not sure what the carbohydrate is that I'm going to add. It's probably going to be like right around when I lift. It might be rice or rice cake or something simple. But I'm looking forward to having a really positive week with this, and I'll try to make a video when I'm meal prepping and stuff, but it might be kind of a nightmare the first time. And then, meaning like it's really hard to make a video and concentrate on meal prep while not taking forever. But I'm going to add in some meat to get my protein intake up to about 250. So my two goals are to get the calorie goal up to 2,500, which will put me in a pretty significant deficit compared to what I'm eating right now. So I should see at least some bloating disappear and start fitting my clothes a little bit better. And then also getting my protein up another 100 grams to 250 grams. I'm curious, for any of those of you that are in a challenge, could you please, if you would be so kind, to put your exact meal plan, just one day, your exact meal plan, whether it's low carb, high carb, in the description below, because you're going to see that other people will watch this video in the future, and it'll be nice for them to be able to learn from what you're doing. So it could be really simple, like, and this is good practice for you. Just type out exactly what you're eating really fast, and then your carbs, calories, protein, and just all your macros at the bottom. And this will really help people that are on the same journey as us. I hope this video helps. Have a beautiful day. Be stronger than your excuses. Remember to spread love, not hate. I'm going to cruise over to Wally World and get started on my shopping and kind of add in a couple things as I go. Have a good day, guys. Bye.